If you've been enjoying our podcast as much as we have and hope that we continue past 50 episodes, here's your chance. Here's your chance to help make that happen. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, not only will you help the Little House on the Prairie 50th Anniversary podcast to live on, but you'll also get exclusive content just for you.
Here's what's in store for you. Join monthly Q&A sessions where you can ask us about anything. Whether it's about our work, personal interests, or advice on your own projects, we're here to connect and share.
Enjoy unique content created specifically for Patreon subscribers, including bonus segments from our shows.
You'll have a say in what we create, and you'll have a voice in future content.
Benefit from exclusive discounts on merchandise and entries into special giveaways. It's our way of saying thank you for your support.
Receive personalized shout-outs in videos, podcasts, or social media posts.
Because your support on Patreon allows us to dedicate more resources to creating the content that you love.
You could join the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast community on Patreon and become a Prairie patron for just $5 a month. We thank you so much for your continued support, and we cannot wait to share our ongoing journey with you on Patreon.
We are extremely grateful for the support of VisitSimiValley.com and the city of Simi Valley's belief in Little House on the Prairie and their support of the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast.
Discover the charm of Simi Valley, California, the home of the prairie. Visit Simi Valley, where adventure meets history and the spirit of the prairie comes alive. Explore the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, step aboard Air Force One, enjoy stunning hikes and savor delicious local cuisine. Whether you're here for a weekend getaway or a family vacation, Simi Valley offers something for everyone and is only 30 minutes from Los Angeles. Plan your visit today and experience the best of Simi Valley. Go to visitsimiValley.com for more details. Your adventure awaits in Simi Valley.
Hello, my wonderful bonnet heads. Welcome back. I'm Pamela Bob, creator of Living on a Prairie, and, your host for this podcast. I am here along with, this is her episode. This is her hour. This is all in her honor.
It's all about her.
It's all about her today. That's right. Our beloved Prairie Bitch was born on this day 50 years ago. Alison Arngrim.
It's true.
Bow down. Bow down. Oh, yeah, and also my hashtag imaginary boyfriend, D. Butler, is here.
Thank you so much. What is that? A beep
He's
tone?
here too.
Well, you got a bell now? That was good.
Allison, we are here today. Last week we talked about the first episode, so we had one down, 202 to go.
That's right.
And,
right.
Yeah, so we're talking about country girls today, and this is the birth of an iconic presence.
It really, truly is. In all
so weird.
Of cultural history of America, and dare I say international as well. This is the birth of a villain.
It is. It's so weird because, we'd had Patty McCormick. Yes, she killed people in Bad Seed, but that was a movie. It had been a play.
Yep. Right.
Most TV character children, annoying. My lovely Jeannie Russell, who's Margaret on Dennis the Menace, definitely a pain. But you weren't afraid of her. You were afraid of Margaret on Dennis the Menace. And there just wasn't anything like that. And that's why it was so weird when I got it. I was like, what the hell is going on? It's just,
You were born to play this part.
Yes.
Isn't that weird?
It
and
is,
I have realized that. I mean, it's like, okay, we talk about this. How many child actors just go, God, it's just, I never did that. Just didn't even talk about the shot. Didn't talk about the shot. I don't even talk. And
what is it that you do there? What is that you do?
I don't know. Somewhere I met someone who's like, I just can't, and I'm like, it burned into my brain. I just can't. And it's a horrible thing. Some people, they don't. They want to walk away from it. And I don't know. I guess I guess I never had that. I guess I grew up with like old stars, and I saw how they wouldn't just pretend that some of their movies didn't get made. They were fine with talking about that. And Michael Land was a shining example of this. Michael, he was all well into Little House, and then he went on Highway to Heaven. When people came up in the street and called him Little Joe, he didn't say, "Oh, for freaking hell, Jesus said."
No, he would embrace it entirely.
He wouldn't say, "That was the other show. Shut up, I'm a grown man." No, he'd go, "Yep, Little Joe," and they would say dumb things. "Oh, where's Hoss? Har har har," and he'd go, "He's in the kitchen with Hop Sing," and he just totally did not care. He would totally just roll with it, and they'd laugh and laugh and laugh, and he's like, what are you going to do? And he never said, "Oh no, I will not discuss Bonanza." I'm not. He just went, now I'm doing this other thing, and I thought, well, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Michael understood that he was connecting to a huge swath of Americana who loved the consistency of what he did. And, in the same way America has connected to you for the consistency of what you have done. And it started with this episode that we're going to talk about today, Country Girls, which may have been shot as the first episode of the series, but in fact became the second episode of the series.
And it was because that first day, and everybody was all like weirded out, like, where are we? Who are we? What are we doing? Who are you? So,
yeah. And you had fainted. You had fainted already, right?
I fainted the first day in See Me. Okay, here's the weird part. So, literally my first line in the damn show, my first line on national television, my first line that has become so iconic that people come up to me today and go, could you say the thing? Just say the thing. Country Girls. I say, okay, I'll say the thing. That first
it was a more sneering thing that you did.
That I came down, it was the look, because it was already happening. Before I opened my mouth, they wanted to run away.
Just the icy cold stare. And the
Country Girls.
Do you know that when they dub it in French, it's... Peasant. It's peasant. I call them peasants. I call them freaking peasants. It's peasant. It's you.
Wow.
Here come the peasants is literally what they translated to it. I'm like,
but that makes more sense.
Yes,
because my whole thing with Country Girls is, they're all in the country. They're in the prairie.
But when I did it, that was the inner monologue. I didn't think Country Girls. I went peasants. And then the French, they knew. They read my mind, and it's translated peasant. And it comes off. It's peasant. It's Country Girl, but it's like peasant. It has a slight ever slow. It's of the country, peasant, but it has a different connotation than just Country Girl has to us.
I guess the way you said it as Country Girls has that connotation that you actually mean peasants, but it is odd
absolutely.
that
one of my
in the country.
favorite moments in the show that I'm not even in is they're at the dinner table. And Laura's freaking out and telling Paul she called us Country Girls.
Well, you are Country Girls.
And he's totally baffled. Like, how is that even an insult? What does that even mean?
Yes, it's the way she said it.
It's the way she said it. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, no,
and
exactly.
That was it. And I remember my father said, they're talking about you in the other scenes when you're not even there. Yes, that's what you want.
But before we dive too deeply into this, we are getting a little ahead of ourselves as we are inclined to do. We just want to thank our Patreon friends, now exceeding over 250 plus of you who are joining. We invite you to join us on Patreon, and where we do fun things. And
it is
thank
fun.
you. Yeah, thank you for joining us on that.
Our Patreon spots. It's so much fun.
And I think we also want to talk about the fact that Cozy TV will have its final airing of its wonderful special, Loving Little House, the 50th anniversary special, on September 25th at 12 noon. Which really celebrates...
At noon, it's middle of the day.
At 12 noon, right? It celebrates, this show celebrates, as its centerpiece is the 50th anniversary cast reunion and festival at Simi Valley, but it goes much beyond that. And Cody Broadway, the producer, Cody, thank you. We shout out to you on this. Cody. And everybody at Cozy TV for making this work. Just a really wonderful step in on what this celebration means to so many people. So now we're going to talk about Country Girls, but let's take us into the show.
Yes, do your thing.
Here we go from the studios of UBN Go in Burbank, California. York. This is Little House 50th Anniversary Podcast. All about Alison Arngrim today.
Okay, let's get right to country good. Oh, okay. What do you two remember about where you were on September 18th, 1974? I have a feeling deep.
Yeah. I'm a complete
What? You would have been
zippo.
watching that.
Yeah.
You would have watching that.
I absolutely love this episode now because I think as Harvest of Friends established something about community, Country Girls really established the antagonist presence in the program for Laura, which was very important to establish. And this one sitting here was dubbed, and I absolutely love the way they did it. And so I bow down to you because
we all bow down to you.
Yeah.
Thank God I know you in person because I cannot wait at you as I did for many decades.
Well, I had a friend who she grew up watching the show. We would sit on the couch and watch the reruns, and she would hit me with a sofa cushion, and she'd say, "How many people in America would love to be able to sit here?" And then when you said something terrible to someone, go, "Stop that!" Whack me with a sofa cushion. It was so weird. I mean, that episode it sets up everything. It sets up Laura's relationship with Miss Beadle. It sets up the whole relationship with how they are. And so it's just like everything happens. And it was so weird because, as I said, what roles for 12, 11-year-old girls are like that? Mm-hmm. And the weird thing was, it was totally from left field. Hadn't read the books. Didn't know anything about anything. What's a Nellie Oleson? Did not know that Nellie Oleson existed. Nothing. Had come in a year, whatever, before to read for Laura, to read for Mary, because everybody did. It was Charlotte O'Hara, we're all.
I just cannot imagine him as Laura or Mary. It's just an absolute impossibility.
And I knew this. I was like, not getting this. This is a job I am not getting.
Yeah.
And then they made the pilot. I went, good choice. They're good. That makes sense. Yeah. And then I just went on with my life. I forgot all about it. I had things to do. I was going to junior high, and there was algebra, and then it's like, you have an audition. I went to a lot of auditions. It's a good little itinerant child actor, and I go and they said Paramount again. They said Little House. We did that. That's not been cast. What are you talking about? And I get there, and they give me this side. So my father and I were sitting on stairs. You're always on some stairs at these auditions, nowhere to sit. And I'm in, oh my God, I think I was in cut off shorts and a t-shirt or something from
from school.
And so it wasn't any preparation, I'm going to wear a prairie dress. And so when Charlotte Stewart went, I went in jeans and tie-dye. I had no idea what the hell I was reading for. Same kind of thing. I'm like, what the hell's that? And I go, I'm not Nellie. I have no idea. And I just start reading these pages. I was like, what on earth is going on here? This is horrible. She's horrible. Who says that? I'm like, and it just gets worse every page.
Yes.
I don't think the Country Girls have a penny. What do you think, Lily? I'm like, it ain't
on that peppermint stick.
Don't even know what a blackboard is. That's where I kind of went into my New York accent on that line. I love that. When you watch that one, because I go, Country Girls don't even know what a blackboard is. Like,
that's a little Barbara Streisand.
Bugs Bunny from Brooklyn. Like, what the hell was that? And it's so odd. And I'm reading this going, what? And then, of course, the My Home thing, I'm like,
well, that's the line.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Does this.
Yeah.
And that's when I turned to my father and said, this is not normal.
What, now, so you didn't read the blackboard stuff. It really was My Home is the Best Home in Walnut Grove.
Yes.
Well, what that was the reason.
That wasn't. They made me read the whole damn thing. Oh no! I did the whole bloody episode. That's why I was like, how many pages? They're having me do the whole entire thing. It was pages and pages. It was the whole thing. And so I was like, okay, guys. And as I said before, it's not normal. He said, what do you mean? I said, this girl's a bitch. And my father starts laughing
because there really is no other word to describe.
There's no way. And my father laughed and went, wait, what are you talking about? And I said, no, really. And I started to read it for him. I read some of the lines. And as soon as I don't think he even got to My Home. And my father went, stop. Okay. You're going to read it exactly like that. You just read it. Don't read it again. Don't rehearse it. Don't look at it. Don't read it. He snatched me and he goes, put the pages face down. Don't look at them. Don't look at them. Just go in and do that.
And I was like, I've struck some gold here or something's happened. Okay, magic is that, just don't even mess with it. So I went, oh, okay. And I go in and I'm like, I'm sorry. I mean, I was more like the lower man. I'm the shy kid. I'm like, oh my God, what have I got myself into?
It's just so, I find that so hard to believe.
So weird.
The whole concept of you being shy is just not possible.
Thank God for Nellie Oleson. So I go.
For real.
And there's the couch, and it's Michael, it's Kent. I think it was Ed Friendly, but it was definitely
I'm sure
it was Ed Friendly. And I'm like, these three guys, I'm like, oh, here we go. Because I'd need a million auditions. Usually some lady casting director gets maybe I get a guy. And I'm like, this is producers, and that's that guy from Bonanza. And this is like, oh, wow. All right, then. I'm reading for producer. Yeah. They're like, they were very nice. They said, go right ahead. And I start doing the I don't think the country rules half a penny. And they start snort, giggle. And I start going through all this stuff. And then my home, it's the best home in all of Walnut Grove. And I remember that
You read it with a smile now. There was no smile when you read it on camera.
We have real lace curtains on all the windows. 6 genuine oil paintings. I love that, so specific. We have 6 genuine oil paintings. And it goes on and on. I absolutely I did read that part from my father because I remember the one, my father, Olson's Mercantile. I love that I identify my father by the business. My father, Olson's Mercantile, not like my father, Mr. Olson. My father, Olson's Mercantile, says it's not nice. And at the time, I noticed that. Why is she saying her father and introducing him as a corporation? That's really weird. This girl's not normal.
And that's who mommy is.
That's who Olson's Mercantile. Get the plug-in, kid. And not polite to say how much things cost, but it costs dear, let me tell you. Now, here's the thing. My grandmother said, because my family's Canadian, and my grandmother was very old. She died when I was 8, but she said things, it was very dear. So these kind of old expressions, I had heard them, that expensive was dear. I heard people talk like that. And so I was like, oh my God, she actually says, like, it costs dear, let me tell you. So I thought this was dreadfully funny. And then that thing she does that is so dumb and so genius, it's just the writing was incredible. She says, and I crack myself up when I even think of it, we have 3 sets of dishes. One for every day, one for Sunday, and one for when someone very special and important comes to visit, which we have never even used yet. And
yeah, it's great.
Utter pride. And I'm reading this and going, oh my God, she really said that. She just said that it's for special and they've never used it. Yeah, they live in Walnut Grove, population 200. Nobody's coming. They don't know.
200.
Isn't that?
200. That would be Boomtown. It was
600 now. There's nobody there now. And the Queen of England is not coming over to dine with the Olsons. Right. Does not have. And she doesn't get it. Oh my God. She just said this lame thing and she has no idea what an idiot she says made out of herself. Now, does every 11-year-old in America get that joke? Reading something once, maybe not. I did. I went, that's funny as hell. And so when I went in, I read it in my great imperious high dudgeon tones and in my good Vancouver accent. It was very...
Yes, it's the accent. Yes,
very
Canadian.
First day at work.
Affected voice, yes.
Absolutely. Richard Bull, our pa of Nelson, absolute first day at work, walked up to me, squinted at me and said, say Ruth. Ruth. Say about.
A boot.
A boot. She's like, he's like, and from where in Canada are you? And another is from Vancouver. So yeah, it was like, why is this child with a Canadian accent suddenly appear in the show? And I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny as hell when I read it. I got that it was a joke, that this was hilarious.
Sure.
Maybe other kids didn't get that it was a joke. I don't know. Maybe they didn't tell. I thought it was funny.
But the way you delivered it was not leaning into the humor.
Absolutely not.
No.
You read it deadpan straight.
Yes, which is why it was.
That's why it's funny.
Well, you read it imperiously, which is, and then to cut around the room, and the wonderful contrast of cutting to Catherine McGregor, who is just beaming at this, and with Richard standing right next to her, trying to hide his head. Can't believe that his daughter is speaking.
And I've invoked him too, so he's like, God, no.
Yeah.
So horrible.
This speech established the social dynamic.
Boston, our furniture's Boston.
Boston, store Boston. But it established the social dynamic in Walnut Grove. And this was the family.
And
they owned everything.
I knew this thing was funny from the get-go. I don't know how many people get
And then I did it. And of course, I guess I said my father was laughing as soon as I made it. Oh, no, stop. This is hysterical. I knew it was funny. He knew it was funny. I went in and these three guys start laughing.
Yeah.
And it's, Michael with the giggle. And the three of them, it's like they're practically crying with laughter. And then they said,
must have been so thrilled.
"Oh, you do it again?"
Absolutely. Well, they hired you in 2 hours. I mean, or less.
They said, "Could you do it again, please?" And little trained child actor go to the audition.
What adjustments would you like?
What would you like me to change? And they literally said, "Nothing. Just read the thing about the house again." I mean, like they were dying. And I went, "Oh, this is weird." And I did it again. But that was the thing. I did it exactly the same.
Of course.
And of course. Now, as an adult, I go, duh. They were sitting there going,
They wanted to make sure it wasn't a fluke.
There's a 12-year-old girl who looks like she's 8 because I'm like yay big and is sitting here looking down her nose at us, imperiously reading this like no child is what is happening. Are we hallucinating? Is this like, can she do that twice? Is this actually even happening?
Exactly.
And they went, do it again. And I did it again exactly the same way. And they were like, thank you. And okay, out the door.
Your stare, your look, like just the very essence of you. Like you can't act that. Like you either got that or you don't. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the first time we saw you in the classroom, well, of course, the first country girls outside, and then when Mary and Laura come into the classroom, and Michael does this like rocking thing with you as you're staring at them it's pure, pin curl evil. Coming at
evil.
That's a new T-shirt.
Yeah, at the evil and pin curls. Yeah, I mean, it was just this dark
middle school girl jealous rage. Yeah. This is my territory. I am the popular girl in school.
Right.
Why are you here?
Right.
Right. We've all seen it. We know it. And I tapped into that. And it's like when you're hitting 12, 13, you're full of angst. People are telling you what to do. You don't really want to be told what to do. If you hate being told what to do, don't get on a TV series because, dear God, you now have 100 people telling you what to do. And so it's like, and I didn't like getting up early in the morning either. So it's just, I took all of that and just dumped it right in there.
No.
Alison, did you know what you were channel? Like, was this something that, because it was a part of your essence, because it was a part of your essence, I don't mean how you are in real life.
Thank you.
That essence, right?
But look, I think that's a fair question. She has access to this.
I did. Exactly. So did you know, were you actively aware that you are channeling something? Yeah. Or were you just opening your mouth and saying the words and it was the right thing?
No, I felt something. It was a thing. Well, first of all, I grew up on villains. And, I talk about my book. Watching Mary Martin's Peter Pan, the Broadway they branded on TV, and Cyril Richard kept on. And I was like, there's a part, I have Nook. I was like, yes, Mrs. O'Toole, baby boy. I was like, I was a small child. I was in hysterics going, yes, this guy. I thought, really. And I would watch things, and always the villains, I go, ooh. And like sometimes I go, oh, no, I don't like the terrible, wicked witch in the movie, but yeah, she's pretty cool. And I liked watching the villains, and I loved Halloween, like our Michael did. He always loved the Halloween, his birthday. Wow, what is that noise? What is it? Awesome.
Oh, that's not you at your house?
I don't hear anything.
So
it was somewhere down the hall.
It's somewhere.
Somebody just drilled below the wall.
Yes, someone's drilling or doing. Yes, someone's doing something. Well, let's just
pretend that never
it didn't
happen. I liked films. I loved Halloween. I always dressed as a scare. I didn't dress as the blue fairy or princess. It was the monsters, and I liked horror movies. And so it was like, yes, ha ha ha, I'm the villain. Yay, I'm Bela Lugosi. Woo woo, I'm Boris Karloff. So I thought that was cool. So I tapped into, yes, I am the villain. This girl is the lead girl, and she's this lovely, sweet little girl, and I'm making her cry. I'm bad. And I went, yeah, and I'm an idiot, and as is Mrs. Olsen, because I think I am all of that and several bags of chips, and I am not, clearly. And I thought, this is genius. And I totally tapped into it, and I was more, the person was bullied. And there's
in your life.
In real life. Yeah. There were like 3 girls, elementary school, junior high, who were particularly god-awful to me. And I worked them into this. They're all in there. In fact, there was one girl who was kind of terrible
from 5th grade all through junior high and high school, and she was kind of horrible to everybody. And one day they were sitting around talking about it, going, man, I just can't deal. Why? And I said, if it's any consolation, guys, I'm totally using her and imitating her in Little House when I do that. And they went, really? That does make us feel better. Thank you. So, yeah, I was absolutely, there was that one girl, she had a party, and she was the queen bee, and she I don't even know how I got invited to her party. She was so completely disgusted with my presence, and she was very grand. And she was, and so I was like, there's people like that. So I'd seen it. I'd seen this act, and something about it, being the villain, having revenge on every bully who ever tormented me, being hilariously funny that she's such a dork and doesn't even know what an idiot she is. And then the outfit. My God, I was in drag. What the hell was all that? I was a T-shirt and jeans and Converse high-top tennis girl. Converse high-top tennis and my Mickey Mouse T-shirt and my little jeans. And my friend, Jess Peterson, who worked with my dad, was my manager and my friend, said one day, see me the first day staring at me. I was at the blue thing with the puff sleeves. He went, I think this may be the longest I've seen you wear a dress. Wow. And I think I owned 2 at least for parties and special occasions. And so suddenly I'm in the frilly dresses and the hair. I had pin straight hair, and I'm coming in getting bows. I never wore a bow in my hair in my life. And so that's another thing. It was like in Batman when Jack Nicholson and they talk about, let's go play the costume. But that once you're in the outfit, if you're playing a really outrageous thing like that where there's a costume,
it informs the character.
Absolutely.
Is that right next door? I mean, I almost want to get up as well.
It's right. It's
right
around the other side.
We're doing. So I can't be that.
If it's any consolation, I hear nothing.
Okay, very good.
Okay, great. Because every now and then we're going, what is that?
Yes.
It's so, but yeah, when you're in a costume, and this was such an extreme costume for me, I did not wear frilly dresses and lace and bows, and never did it. When they told my mother, she'll just have to curl her hair, my mother, I don't curl anybody's hair. I don't curl my own hair. I go to that salon. What are you talking about? And I was sleeping in curlers and coming in at 4 a.m. and then having my hair. And this was not something we did. I mean, my mother didn't even braid my hair. I got somebody at camp taught me how to do that. It was like we didn't do that. And this was bonkers. So for me, it almost really was drag. It was so extreme when I was in that dress and that hair. It's like, and now I am her. So it was easy to kind of go into the zone and go, well, I guess I'm this now. And then it was so weird because Melissa and I, day one we met, and I talked about the book.
Well, I think this is really an important point, is that one of the things that made this so much fun for the two of you to do is that there was genuinely a good vibe between the two of you. How long did that take?
3.5 seconds.
3.5 seconds. So tell us about and I know we've talked about this before. This is the moment. So
we met. We showed up, and I mean, I talk about in the book, and I said she was so small, she looked like, and the buck teeth. I said she looked like I could fit her in my purse, and she could chew her way out if she had to. She was a little thing of that. And she was so cute, just that cute. But she was only 2 years younger than me. But she's like, the little doll person.
That's so smart. And
she was like in charge. It was, and this is what I'm in a prison movie, because she came up and said, "Listen, here's what's going on," and so's doing, and she's like laying out who's in charge, and I'm like, who are you? And my Auntie Marion's going, what have we gotten ourselves into? Who is this child? And it was all very strange. And I was like, well, clearly. And I went, wow, this is all really weird. But we hit it off. And I think we both had massively showbiz families. Remember, there was Paul Gilbert, her grandfather's Harry Crane, great The Honeymooners. Oh, my God. So she had been raised in show. Before she ever worked, there's like a Dean Martin Christmas special. There's Melissa Gilbert, like, sitting in the corner on a pile of pillows. It's like, we were both raised in that, where famous people came to dinner, and our whole family were in show business. We were very much in that. So we understood each other immediately. Yeah. And she was really looking for someone to be like a big sister protector person. And as we know, Melissa Sue was just like, I don't really need a sister this week. Thanks for playing. And so I was just like, and I was like, yes, I would love a little sister, especially a totally brilliant, pushy little one like you with the braids. And off to the races we went. We just, right away, we clicked. During that first episode, when I got sick in See Me, so the first day in See Me, it was really hot. It really was really hot. I mean, Karen's even talked about, she went, it was a heat wave. It was insanely hot. It was so hot. And I mean, the thing and the dress and the curls. And then we had the lunch, and I think I got like the hell is that noisy? I got like the tri-tip steak or something you don't really eat on a hot day.
Right.
And So I'm just like, and I remember this is it. The sky turned green and the ground turned blue. And I went, that's probably bad. That means something bad's going to happen now. And I realized, I was like, oh my God, so this is terrible. I'm going out. And I was so weird, and I was so concerned about doing the right thing. I staggered up to the AD, I think it was Reed Rummage, and said, pardon me, I think I'm going to faint, and then blacked out. Ugh. And I was so blacked out that they put a salt tab under my tongue and cracked an ammonia capsule under my nose, which I do not recommend. Don't recommend. No stars. Do not want. But Melissa paced outside the dressing room.
Let's talk more about that. Let's take a quick break, and let's come back and talk about that friendship. Let's talk about your place in the iconic history of television villains. Pretty special. And I think we should actually talk a little bit about the episode beyond the evil of this one here. So let's take a quick break.
All right, everyone, we'll be right back.
When you visit Simi Valley, California, you're stepping into the pages of history. Go from the pioneers to the presidents. Explore beautiful wildflowers, hike through iconic Hollywood locations, and end your day aboard the actual Air Force One at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum. Throughout the summer, take the Little House 50th Anniversary Tour at Big Sky Movie Ranch. Less than 15 minutes from Los Angeles and 30 minutes from Universal Studios, Simi Valley has small-town charm with big-time history. Go to visitsimivalley.com for more information. We are so grateful to visitsimivalley.com for their commitment to presenting the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast.
Hi, everyone. We're back. Okay, Alison, let's talk the real talk, which is you are an icon and in the cultural zeitgeist of this country, for sure.
Well,
How do you feel about that? Did you know that was going to happen?
So bonkers. I mean, I was pulling in a lot of icons. Like I said, Captain Hook. Captain Hook was there. I remember there was a couple of lines, and I remember some years ago I had a friend say, this sounds familiar. Are you like copying, like pulling this from some other character somewhere? And I don't know. And then I went back and watched The Jungle Book and listened to how Shere Khan, the tiger, talked about it. He has a little bit of that got in there. So I was sort of every villain I'd ever liked in anything all kind of got in there. Like, so it all sort of came out. So I was pulling from classics. They were all in my head and going, that's what that. And enjoying it. But it was fun, and it was so weird because, as I said, I was the shy person.
What you just said is the key to it.
Yeah.
You were enjoying it. You were having such a good time, and it showed.
That height of villain for you was so visceral. I mean, it was so real. It was deep in like people's souls, how much the frustration with you and wanting to reach through the television and just that makes me feel so happy. Yeah. No, I mean, mission accomplished over and over and over again.
Because, okay, when you see Captain Hook having a great time. They're the great villains who are like, well, I want you to die, Mr. Bond. You know?
Exactly.
Stuff.
Well,
exactly.
I mean, really thought it.
Hopkins was so convincing as Hannibal Lecter is because he enjoyed the kill.
We
stand. It was just playing Sir Anthony. It was the enjoyment, the utter satisfaction of that.
We bow. Sir Anthony Hopkins. We bow to Hannibal Lecter. I've watched that movie like a million times. Guy, this is like, yes, that's the ticket.
But it's the same. It's the same thing as
that energy.
You enjoy the kill. It's not the kill. It's the enjoyment.
And that's why Hannibal Lecter worked, because if he was just like, I like eating people, it wouldn't have the same.
That flips me out a little bit to think that we're comparing you to Hannibal Lecter.
I can dream.
But
I can dream.
Yeah, no, you can dream. But I think it is the fun. We could see, the audience could always see the fun you were having being this prairie bitch.
That made for more annoying, because I know I did things. You don't want to. You say, well, you don't want to do line readings, but then sometimes you do, and it depends.
Right.
And I would go through it. And I mean, line reading, intention, whatever you want to call it. I would go through the script and I would go, wow, that's pretty annoying. I'd read it and go, that's terrible. She's ghastly. And then I go, all right, how am I going to do this? Let me see. and I would try to see what sounds more annoying. And so I'd go through and go, I don't think the country girls have a penny. What do you think? I mean, that's pretty bad. And then, I don't think the country girls have a penny. What do you think? And they're in a knife twisting. And I would try several different ways of twisting the knife so it sounded worse. And when I got to the one where it went, ugh, and it was like fingernails on a blackboard, and I wanted to hit me in the face.
That's the one.
And that's the one there. One. And yeah, and so I really worked at making her that terrible. It was a conscious effort every day. And it was just crazy. But literally the next day at school, which I've talked about endlessly, it's in my act, that a girl called me a bitch immediately. People immediately reacted within days. People were like, God, what the hell is that all about? I mean, they were just like, what is wrong?
And you're an absolute hero.
And we couldn't go to things at that event. Catherine and I went to the first event we went to. Nobody wanted our autograph. Catherine, little children were crying when they saw her. I got beat up. It was insane. So we're like, what are we even doing? It was so strange. And then the people started to come forward going, yes, we like this.
Yes, right, exactly.
And that took a while, but when people got into it,
they figured out.
Yeah.
They figured out the joke. They got the joke, and suddenly they could enjoy it, and you could enjoy it. And look at you. 50 years later, Pamela, you don't go, you haven't been to events with us other than Simi Valley where you've seen how crazy this can get. Mm-hmm. The lines that people that come for Alison to have her snarl at them and say something obnoxious, people absolutely love it.
They're like, could you please sneer at me?
Yeah.
The face, they want the thing, they want me to say country girls. I'm like, sure, anyway.
Allison, I would think it would be very easy to feel burdened by that and sort of bound by that, but you've been able to embrace it and sort of expand upon that. I think the reason why your lines are always so long is because you've really done that very thing.
No question.
Embrace the crowds, you embrace the part, you've embraced all of it, and you extend yourself to your fan base.
Acceptance.
You've bought into it as well as everyone else.
Acceptance is a wonderful thing. I mean, yes, there's early 20s, because I was like, people go into show business to be loved. And there I was in my early 20s. I want to be pretty and beautiful and people love me. No. Okay. So that initially was, oh, well, darn. But beauty is fleeting, villainy is forever. I don't know. But, oh, my God.
Yes, hello. There's another T-shirt.
That's another T-shirt.
I think, write that down.
Beauty is fleeting, villainy is forever. And Christine, I know you're this. Write that down. It's that I said, it's like I...
Possibility is forever.
It's like I told them, yes, I know how you feel. I know how you feel about this, that you want to smack me in the face, and I get it, and it's hilarious, and I meant to do that, and I get it that we get... Yes, I totally get it, and you should want to smack me. It's fine.
We have all had a Nellie in our lives.
That's it. Everyone has a Nellie.
Well, it's because it just taps into that thing that we've all experienced, and it's so difficult to watch on screen, even though we love every second of it.
As kooky and comedic villain as it was, I think I like to think I had enough of an element of realism that people recognized immediately their tormentors from junior high as soon as I started my mouth.
Of course.
And I think it had, okay, what is every actor's dream in theater that they always say, I don't want them to see the actor. I want them to see the character. I don't want to see just the character. I want them to suspend disbelief and think that the scene that I am playing is real. Well, oops-a-daisy, I appear to have done that. Now what? People thought it was freaking real, and people still come up to me, how could you do it? You're horrible. I hate you. I'm afraid of you.
Did you ever feel burdened by being so identified with this character? What was that transition like?
No, I mean, there was a thing like, I think when we all got off Little House, we thought we could be big movie stars, and we would talk about, it's that lovely show I did years ago, but now I'm well known as, these things happen. And yes, I thought I would be some sexy, beautiful Dynasty Dallas hot chick.
Wow.
I had plans, and my managers and everybody certainly did, but it was like, he just wasn't that type, really. I'm kind of cute on Fantasy Island as a hooker on Fantasy Island. You are. Very cute on Fantasy Island. So hooker on Fantasy Island.
Kind of cute as a hooker on Fantasy Island.
Gotta love that.
I was very simple. It's terrible. It's actually all about like human trafficking. It's a terrible, dark episode, but I'm very cute. But yeah.
The plane.
I wanted to be that, but it's like, well, maybe that's not me. We're not Marilyn. We're Carol Burnett. What are you going to do?
Absolutely.
run with it.
Absolutely.
And let's just go with your strengths. That's what you can do.
Yes.
And yeah, there was a burden. It's like, are they ever going to stop talking about Little House on the Prairie? Apparently not. And at some point there was I never felt ashamed of Nellie, and I never denied Nellie. Sometimes I go, oh, really, Little House, we should talk about things. But I was like, oh yeah, Nellie also was cool. Lisa had the good job, But
Yeah.
at some point there was a can't beat 'em, join 'em thing. I saw actors who said, I don't want to talk about my other role.
Yeah.
I saw people who were terribly burdened by their role, really, like it really bothered them. And I was like, wow, that's rough. And then I went, I would have to have massive plastic surgery and move to a country where it is not aired, which would be very difficult because it's aired.
Voice pattern.
And my voice. I got recognized over the phone. And there was just no getting around it. So I went, well, what are you going to do? Okay, well, maybe I run with this. I just steer into the curve. It's when you're sliding on ice, you don't steer into it.
Yeah.
And
Turn into the slide.
turn into the slide. I'm going to turn into the slide and lean in. And the day when everything just improved drastically. I had people who said you should dye your hair a different color and you should never talk about. You should pretend to be somebody else. I'm like, no. And people doing stand up. Well, you shouldn't talk about Little House on your stand up. Yeah, no. Yeah. And I think because the audience would all then have questions. So when I said, yes, I'm Nellie Oleson, shut up. And then they had questions. Everybody was happy. Yeah. I was happy. Yeah. And I've been successful ever since.
Yeah.
And I've gone,
yeah. No, exactly. I mean, you've established, let's just quickly talk about the fact that you have established a presence for this well beyond the borders of the United States, most particularly in France, where you are absolutely adored. And you've said things about, you feel like this is an essential, you've tapped into something that's essentially French here. What is that?
Okay, the French between us have an odd sense of humor. They like things to be very emotional, romantic. I love Little House. Charles, he cries. It is beautiful. So they love the show right there. And then Nellie Oleson, the bad girl, of course. Or as I said, they don't think she's mean. They think she's French. And there is a part of that. And I said to French people, okay, I make fun of you guys when I talk about this in America. And they go, yeah, but it's kind of true. We do. Yes, of course we like the bad girl. How can we say, yes, we like Nellie best. What are you going to do? We love Charles, but yeah, we like Nellie. They do. And
we love villains. People love villains. There's no question. Yeah.
Well, the struggle was so real when it was a Nellie episode. You know what I mean? Like, you just felt it in your body, that tension and that frustration and that unjust, like, this is not fairness of it.
This girl is gleefully a bitch. And I think that's what people really dug about it, is that you were having, again, I'm sorry to beat this horse, but you had so much fun being.
And that's funny. Like, well, I never hit.
Oh, the whipping of the horse. Oh, my
standing on a ladder, hitting the ladder with a riding crop. The horse. I never.
Oh, you didn't actually beat the horse.
I was never near that horse. That horse? No. He's in its trailer having a cigarette and a beer. That horse wasn't even on the damn set. I'm on a ladder, and then the stunt lady is on the horse.
Get away from my horse.
When you see the horse going, neighing in pain. Okay. Yeah. Actual reality, stunt woman on horse going up. The horse goes.
Yeah.
Up. And then they put in the sound effect of the horse going, neigh. The horse is fine. None of that ever happened.
I think what's really fun here is that, so here we are we're recording this on the day that the show aired. It will drop on the 19th. In Simi Valley, where we have had such a renewal, in Simi Valley, they're going to do a viewing party for you, I think on the night.
Are we doing it? Yeah, because I've been talking to Kathy. They're trying to figure out where and did they.
Oh, I think she's got a great idea.
Do you know where?
I think
I don't. I think you know more about where it is than I do.
I think I do know where it's going to be. And it's going to be a place where everybody's going to be able to come starting in October to see the Little House sets again that we built for the cast reunion and festival. They're going to be configured slightly differently because they need to be given the limitations of the space, but the core of these sets will be there. And I believe we're going to gather with you, and I'm going to be there to throw popcorn at the screen as we watch you be horrible.
I may bring a Hungry Man TV dinner and heat it up in the car.
I think that'd be amazing.
Totally. That's
We should have TV dinners for everyone.
I wanted to have some kind of party because, again, I'm like, so we didn't have parties. I mean, I had parties as a kid. We'd get Kentucky Fried Chicken or pizza or something. But we didn't have a party when the show aired. My thing. I mean, that was the thing that I'll later
turned into what it turned into.
And that my whole life. I mean, literally, when I think about it, that was the day that my whole life went whoop. Right. And was before there's A, D, and B, and
A, and before Nellie.
Before Nellie and after Nellie, because nothing was the same after that. Nothing. There was me before and me after. And like I said, the shyness thing, yes, I was painfully shy.
I just can't.
What the hell? But it was, again, a conscious effort because on the sense, I can't really be shy here. I kind of got to get it together. And I'm playing someone who's not bothered. So, maybe. Yeah. And it was, I finally went, well, I guess I need to just do this.
And you did, and we are going to honor it. We're going to honor it tonight in Simi Valley.
I get a party.
Yeah, we're going to do a party. I think you should bring a Hungry Man. Can you even get a Hungry Man TV dinner?
Yes, you can. No turkey to great. They're terrible.
You had the turkey? I was always partial to the fried chicken.
But nobody liked the Salisbury steak. Did anybody like the Salisbury steak? Nobody.
We had, when my parents went out on Friday nights, there were always the TV dinners, the tin. I mean, it is just what it was. Yes, I had Salisbury steak, fried chicken, turkey with the little mashed potato, the peas, and
cranberry,
a little pastry,
and the cranberry sauce was nuclear lava.
Sure,
yeah,
sure, exactly.
My mother was very health conscious, so we were not allowed to have them in the house. But I'd go to my friend's house and I'd be like, I'm taking the fried chicken, and it was the best.
That's how I didn't find out for years that Melissa Gilbert as a child was apparently not allowed to have sugar. She forgot to tell me that.
Really?
And came to my house regularly, and we ate all the crap we could get our hands on, and all the Screaming Yellow Zonkers and Cracker Jack and candy and cake. And years later, my mother didn't let me have sugar, artificial coloring. I went, really? And that seems to have not come up in conversation for years while we were hanging out.
Interesting. I mean, well, the two of you, just when we have those wonderful opportunities to see the two of you together after absences, you communicate regularly, but it's just it's instant. You're back together again, and the relationship is right there, and it's lovely to see that you were able to create so much wonderful conflict together and have such a good time doing it.
When the first episode, she'd just known me. We're in Simi. We'd known each other a couple of days. I'm in the trailer. They're trying to, get me back together, get some food in me and see if I can stand upright for more than 2 seconds after my fainting. And I got to go back to work because we're going to do the Rather Rosie Uncle John scene.
Yes,
and Melissa paced outside my dressing room, like in the cartoons with the expected father outside. She's pacing. The little girl, what are you doing? And my Auntie Mary's like, what are you doing? She's got to get better. I have to beat her up later. And she was like, we had to do the scene. She was really worried. She's 10. And she was really genuinely worried about me. And it was just, so we, right away, there was this weird connection.
Yeah.
And we read each other's minds.
All is well now.
We didn't like each other, and
oh my God,
from all of those.
Somebody could have gotten hurt. That's what Melissa said. Nobody's going to get hurt. They started letting us do our own stunts. I go, those two, they're not going to really hit each other. Let them go.
Exactly. See, that's the beauty of it. That's the kismet of it that you couldn't have predicted. You couldn't have. I mean, it could have gone very differently. The fact that you two did like each other, that you trusted each other, that you got each other so totally is what allowed all of this to play. This is sort of the wonderful genius or good luck of casting that can work, and it worked beautifully with the two of you.
People still play Ring Around the Rosie, but whatever happened to the game of Uncle John?
What is Uncle John?
It's an old game, but have you ever heard anyone in our lifetime say, I'm going to go play Uncle John now?
If Melissa wants to play Uncle John, we play Uncle John.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a listener out there who knows historical reference, who knows what Uncle John is.
It's a really old game.
Yes, please tell us what
I just want to know when people stop playing it, because apparently it was a big hit at one time.
It didn't last. Yeah, it didn't last.
Take us out.
everybody, we loved seeing you and thank you for joining us. This is our show today. Alison, we truly love you. Thank you so much for everything.
We do love you, Alison. You monster, you. We love you.
Monster. Bitch. You bitch. I hate saying she's a bitch because she's so not a bitch, but then I'll watch an episode and I'm like, oh,
yes, she is. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, join us next time. Visit us on our socials, Little House 50 Podcast, littlehouse50podcast.com. What else? Are there?
Oh, well, the tours. The tours. So, yes. Yeah, we're doing tours. Actually, this will air. They're future tours. There are going to be tours in October, November, December, and of course, there is the pop-up coming at a location that will be announced. If you want to know more about that, go to www.simivalleychamber.org and look at 50th anniversary. The Chamber of Commerce in Simi Valley will be posting all the information about what's coming. I think it's really going to be fun.
Christmas
particularly for the holidays.
Christmas
party. We'll have all of this info in our show notes as well as all upcoming dates with the cast that are coming up. And that's it for this week. Thank you so much. I think, Bob, go get the wig. Yeah, am I right?
Yep.
I'm right. Let's fly, everyone.
Yay, Nellie! I want to see Nellie run down the hill.